Hi, this is a journaling session, and I thought I would pop in to do a bit of an update on my system because I'm just really excited about my books and I wanted to talk about them with you. I know I said I'll wait until the end of August to update you on whether I will be continuing with the standard traveler's notebook. And while I'm not completely sold on it just yet, I do have some feedback to report, so I'm hoping that that may be helpful to somebody else who's considering it or just wanting to try it as an alternate option from a current system. I feel like let's start with the pros since it's always easier to criticize something than it is to praise it. My initial pro is the changeable inserts. I mentioned the bulk about a bound book being uncomfortable to write in over time, and with these slimmer interchangeable inserts, you can make it really thick and then change it out soon enough because it's not an entire year in one insert. I find because of that, I'm sticking in a lot more decorations, layering things, even including food packaging in my book, like thicker cardboard, whereas I would have never done this in my Hobonichi A6. The size is really comfortable to write in. It's not a full A5, so it's a little less daunting to me. It is bigger than the Weeks though, which is something that I prefer. I've always felt like the Weeks was just a bit too cramped to write in. And with that being said, I don't feel like the Traveler's Notebook needs any more space. It seems to just be that perfect sweet spot. I like how I'm able to fit up to 4 days of memory keeping on the 2 pages if I want, or even just do 3, and I'm fine with that. And I can write in as much or as little as I like depending on the day, so it is a bit more customizable compared to what I have been used to for the last 3 or so years using a dated bound book. There seems to be almost an encouraging creative mindset when I open this book. The blank pages are not terrifying me away from using it, like I'm looking at this blank vast emptiness, but rather it's an inviting comfort to just try and do whatever I want, see what happens, almost like tying in the scrapbooking feel. And I've just found that really enjoyable. I'm excited about using my book and not having any predetermined or set parameters that you do find in a dated format is something I've just really been enjoying. Well, at least for now it is. Now, onto the cons. There are a few which I am actually surprised about. I expected there to be none because of how much praise the Traveler's Notebook system gets from the community. The biggest has to be the paper. It's really trash. I do not like this paper at all, to the point that when I switched back to writing in my A6, I was actually happy about the writing experience in the Hobonichi. This, coming from the biggest self-appointed hater of Sansan, which is me, I was shocked. My fountain pen inks are just not a good fit for this paper at all. There are weird spots randomly throughout the page where there would be feathering to the point where I can no longer make out the letters because they've just turned into a blob of ink. Because of this feathering, my writing doesn't even look neat either. And coming from somebody who's actively pursues aesthetics in their books, I was so disappointed with this. Now, I did try other ink brands too. I did fully test this out to give it a fair shot, and I found that any of the wetter inks that I have, like Diamine and Kaweco, they were not a good fit for this paper. So Wearingle was the best because it is a bit of a dry ink, as well as the any archival or document inks. Those seem to perform really well. Because of that, I'm not going to write off the system completely just because of the paper issue and this insert. I do want to try the MD insert, which is widely known for being fountain pen friendly, but this specific insert is a hard no for me. And I'm actually thankful that I didn't buy more to last me an entire year before testing it out, which I guess is another pro because the inserts on their own are relatively cheap to try and test out, unlike other brands where you would be stuck with the whole book if after testing you find that it isn't suitable for you. Another con is that the book just does not lay flat. I didn't think this would bother me as much as it does because this absolutely is not a new concept for Traveler's Notebook, and I'm familiar with it in the passport size, which seems to be a bit more manageable. But oh my goodness, it was so annoying here. The insert, even outside of the cover, kind of wants to spring back up and close on you. I think maybe it's because it's stapled and not stitched together. The binding also doesn't feel like it's very firmly folded in half. Like when you fold a piece of paper, you'll fold it into a crisp fold. So that's probably what's causing it to try and close. I'm not sure. I am not familiar with this at all because I don't have this issue with my other books. For my passport, I make my own inserts, so they lay flat. Even Hobonichi does lay flat, but I guess that's literally their selling point, so it is not really a fair comparison to make. The Traveler's Notebook not laying flat, especially for its size, is challenging to write in. It makes it feel less comfortable and like you're constantly fighting with your book. Now, my leather cover is new, so I expected for that to lift and not lay flat, and I'm not mad at that. And I know eventually it will just even out just through use, but the inserts are very stubborn, and I didn't expect that from the insert itself, even being used without the leather cover. And yes, I do have the little clips and they do work, but I don't think it makes for a good product if the only way to get around an issue is to buy another product from the company. Overall, I don't think I'm done with the system. I will have another go at it with a different insert, and I also want to take it apart and stitch it myself just to see if that does make any difference. That does seem like it may be more effort than what it's worth, but I'm intrigued and I won't know unless I try, right? I have very low expectations for it to work though, so we shall see. And it's honestly not made me very confident that this system will be a good replacement for my daily memory keeper, in that it will replace my A6 altogether, especially just yet. I guess the too long didn't read is I'm enjoying it despite its very obvious flaws, but in the long run, I feel like the flaws may be what drives me away after this initial honeymoon phase. I would be interested in your thoughts if you use the Traveler's Notebook system and how you manage this or ways to work around it. Passport size is still my absolute favorite and I adore it so much. I'm just not feeling the same about standard size. A quick update for the A6. I have been enjoying using it for August. Yes, I know, who am I? From hating this book to liking it, like what is happening? I don't know. I do hate the paper still, that's not changed, nothing new there. And I'm also not really convinced by the statement that Hobonichi made for the New Year's paper, but I am enjoying how my pages look this month. I am enjoying using the book, so I figured it would be worth mentioning because I'm constantly complaining about this book. Also, having the A6 alongside the TN as a memory keeper, they kind of go together for some reason, and I like them. A further update will happen at the end of August, as well as all my thoughts on the Hobonichi lineup once the entire lineup is revealed, as well as all the things that are going to be happening for next year, but that will be in next week's video. So I think that's all the updates that I have for you. I'm just going to put on some music so you can enjoy the rest of the video. I hope to see you again next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.